Room temperature IQs, or a crippling lack of female attention. Tonight we investigate the source of all your frustration as an intermediate chess player, sharpen your tactical awareness. But first, let's take a look at the basics. According to classical thinking, the opening of the sword is the most clear by equal to the central control, and the best piece of that mission are the palms. These words are the most common move of the city, and with white playing check, white will still move like C4. Exactly. It's not a blind piece of The move is knight c6, putting pressure on d4, and white responds to bishop d4 the third is simple. If white were to play a home,
Cunning rat! Well, spare your sorry life for today! Fortune is no longer on your side! No one comes your aid. All I need is to take it elsewhere and rebuild everything anew!
2,000 plus rated players. So after bishop d4, he was directed to bishop d2, giving the green on black plays e6, walking e7, a really important pair of combat, because while white is one move away from the save,
Oh, pardon me, young sage, mercy, young sage, have mercy. I was just a pawn of the celestial court. If given a choice, who dared to challenge the mighty wrecker of the celestial palace?
His words ring true. No matter how daring he was, he had not the nerve to harm the great sage. There must be someone else pulling all the strings.
Exactly, and this thing is eerie. I have no idea how to make use of its power.
Because if the bishop
Except to enshrine it up
it's in the way
there,
of the nice man.
tricking lesser young mice into offerings.
Forking the bishop in
If you pardon me, I'll go back to Gwenlyn to atone for my actions and be put back on the engaging band. You will never see me out there anymore.
I know his nonsense. Go now, Wukong. Go and retrieve the great sage's relic.
Anyway, take. And now, it should be pretty this is not on never be touched by another call, but if White can somehow hold on to it and maintain the structure, what's he have in return? Kingside space advantage, the bishop pair, and moves like F4, F5 to attack on Black's castle king. In this game, however, Queen B6 proved to be an annoying threat for White to deal with. Bishop E3 defends the threat, but creates another weak point in White's position. That's the art of attack. 2 annoying jabs to the body, a feint, and then a clean right hand to the chin. Your grandma will never touch your food again. Queen takes B2, and after the only move, knight D2, you may be tempted to capture the D4 pawn. You will often get away with it. But remember what I said. Execute your plan, but always keep your queen's safety in mind. This is one of those times, because after knight takes D4, moves like rook B1, queen A4 check, you will die with a very full plans. So Black played knight F5, and after rook B1, takes and rook takes. I personally would not feel very comfortable with my king in the center. But Black had calculated everything to a T. Bishop B4, and his king is 1 move away from safety. White played rook C7, trying to be as much of a nuisance as he can to Black. But he missed a minor detail. Most players would be worried about their king's safety while thinking about their knight in this position.
Across the stream, the blood wind, your blood
It
has
doesn't have
spilled.
removed the defender of the knight on
Wolves
B4,
howl,
but it also
snakes
threatens the queen and the
whine,
rook if it's not
flames
addressed.
lick, and the
A long
smoke
series of captures
blinds.
occurs at the end of
Stumble
which
on the
White has a
lesser,
painful
lay,
realization.
crash
If he
before their
captures this
betters.
knight, he will likely lose all his central
With
pawns.
such
This is why you
clumsiness,
must
what
train your
destiny
calculation
do you
skills in chess.
claim?
Above a
As
certain
the
rating
small
level,
fish
it is
catches
almost
its prey,
unacceptable that White does
the
not see
bigger
this
lurks
before
behind.
playing rook C7.
Who is the
The
bigger
engine
fish?
suggests the
I
move
can't
King
see
F2,
it.
accepting the
As for
mistake
the
and
prey
holding on
and
to
the
your central
small
pawns.
fish,
But if you know anything about human
they
beings,
are
you
swimming
know that we would rather lose the
everywhere.
game than admit we made a mistake. That is why people will still vote for you. You know what? Let's not go there. I need all the likes I can get. Rook takes was played stubbornly, but after these factors. What we see is the result of a well-executed pawn-focused Caro-Kann strategy. White's pawn formation went from this beauty to this. Rook E1 was played, protecting E5, and finally on move 21, we see the move castled by Black. It takes a bit of bravery to play the Caro-Kann, but if you execute the plans well, you are usually rewarded with simple and straightforward positions like these ones, where all you have to do is just push your pawns, make 5 queens, and win. High-level chess knowledge I'm delivering to you from the thick jungles of Zimbabwe, after wiping my ass with a dead baboon. And the next game is just as instructive, if not more. E4 C6, D4 D5 is the Caro-Kann defense. But in this position, instead of the advance E5, and all the ideas surrounding the D4 square, the 1800 on the right pieces of the pawn takes pawn, the exchange variation of the Caro-Kann defense, a sort of legit White's only problem is that on the black pieces was my favorite reason, a 2400 plus who knows exactly what to do in this exchange Caro-Kann stuff. And what happens next is exactly what will happen if any of you guys ever challenge me to a game in opponents. And the difference is, I don't mind I'm mixing in from Zimbabwe and takes pawns played by Alex. And in this position, White can do what C10 and the pawn C2. C3, White always playing the game, protecting the D4 square, or White can play the explosive C4, leading to an insane pawn structure, which we will study in the final game. Black develops his knights first and then bishop to F5, all in line with Caro-Kann judgment. After he plays E6, a 2 Caro-Kann move, we will have what is called the college back pawn structure. It is characterized by this 4 versus 2 pawn battle on the queen side. The plan here is in 3 stages. Stage 1 involves pushing these 2 pawns.
I reckon I got an idea why you've come here,
Initiate trade which will leave White with 2 weak queenside pawns. The final stage of the plan is you can use your
Haste
minor and
makes
heavy
waste.
pieces to attack these pawns.
I'll lend
Afterwards,
ya.
if all goes well, you will be rewarded with a simple winning ending. The chess name for this plan is the minority attack, a 200-plus-year-old
Watch your
chess
step,
tactic
eh?
that has
Get more
nothing to do
shots
with
and you'll be
law
high and
enforcement or
dry.
anything like that. Anyway, this is the position we are currently studying. Lots of minor and heavy pieces, but now you know that the pawns are the backbone of all chess plans. Bishop
Alright, we're gonna
d3,
smoke
and the
these.
following move by Alex is why it's not always a good idea to study master-level games on your own. G6. Why? The simple plan would have been takes, e6, and then kickstart the minority attack. Alex is an international master. He knows this, but he is trying to entice white to capture
Considerably increases
opening
focus
up the
gained
g5,
upon.
which will, in a few moves, be used by this rook in a surprise kingside attack. Sneaky, but fortunately for us, white rejects the offer by castling. After queen c7, he rejects it again by playing the move rook e1. So Alex goes back to the original plan of the minority attack, and after a few moves we get to this position. Alex has played a6, preparing b5. White's pieces are also locked and loaded for an assault on black's kingside. But look at this marvelous defensive formation. The battle lines have been drawn. Kingside attack versus minority attack. a4 is played by white, delaying b5, but there is no stopping the minority attack. Rook b8 and b5 is only a matter of time. Knight takes e5 is played by white. And even if it's not threatening anything yet, if there is one piece you never want to have just lingering in your position, it's a knight. So, knight takes e5, but the recapture by white is somewhat surprising. Rook takes e5. Your tactical senses must be tingling right about now. This rook is in the path of the bishop, and a move like knight e4 traps the rook and opens it to the bishop's line of fire. But is it a good move? This is where chess tactics meet chess intuition. Calculation meets understanding. It might not seem like it, but this dark squared bishop is one of your best pieces when firing a queenside pawn storm of this nature. Because say in a few moves, the minority attack is landed, you have a position like this, and you want to pick off these weak pawns with your minor pieces. That's when this bishop comes alive. But that's not all. It's also the glue holding this entire defensive structure together. So if it were to disappear, and your opponent has a dark squared bishop of his own, it takes losing a ton of games like this to learn that gaining an exchange in the short term may bite you in the long term. So Alex plays knight e7, and after the rook retreats, e5 is played, triggering the minority attack. Takes, and this move will always create some type of pawn weakness. A weakness on which black will focus all his energy in the middle. And when it's captured, holding on to this one isolated pawn will prove to be a very tough assignment. Rook c3 is played by Alex with very clear intention, but white plays rook a3, protecting his weak pawn. A blunder. Can you think of a simple move that will displace this pawn in the third round? Yes, bishop f8, and this pawn is gone. But Alex did not play. Why? In his video, linked down below, he says he wanted to teach us how to win these positions. If the opponent made good moves instead, I'm assuming there's a better use of his time than finding a girlfriend for a but hey, to each their own. Queen c4 offers a trade and binds the weakness to a square. I probably would appreciate more in the next game. Because if your opponent has a pawn weakness, you do not want to allow him to push it and trade it for one of your healthy pawns. So if you put a piece of a square in front of it, while you mobilize your attackers, you are playing chess well above 2,000 rating level. Queen d2, white declines the trade, but rook b3 offers another trade and cuts off the rook's view of the pawn. Take takes, and look at the pressure mounting on his backward pawn. Knight f2 defends, but black has another attacker on the way. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. That's the motto of the Carol Company. No flamboyant look sacrifices, no fancy tactics, just a simple plan executed with machine-like coldness. In the following moves, black maintains pressure on the c3 pawn while maneuvering his pieces and creating multiple little threats, forcing white to respond. That's how these positions are won. Because between trying to hold on to this pawn and responding to all your annoying little threats, at some point, they all blunder. Knight a4, and the pawn is gone. The rest is a matter of converting this endgame advantage to a win, which admittedly is easier said than done. And if you were wondering, it's also exactly what makes this guy arguably the greatest chess player of all time. Playing the white side of this endgame against Magnus Carlsen is a nightmare of epic proportions. He has an unnatural ability to play 30 correct moves in a row of positions, accumulate small positional advantage for every tiny mistake he makes. When you get to such a position here, you need to switch to tactics to finish the game. Magnus saw that tactic 10 moves ago, and credit to Alex, he saw it too. Bishop f4 check and it's lights out. Because of king takes, then d2, and there is no stopping this pawn from queen. a brilliant example of a minority attack in the Carlsbad pawn structure. But this, in the form of a game between a 2,400 and a 2,700 on leeches, is the isolated queen pawn structure. I feel like I should be making you guys pay for this knowledge. But anyway, y'all know the best way to show those videos somewhere. Takes is the exchange variation of the Carol pawn. But unlike the previous game with C3 and the Carlsbad pawn structure, this player goes for C4, the Panova attack. The trick is, if you don't want to capture the pawn before this bishop move, can someone explain the comments? And I'll fill it for everyone to see. The knights are developed with the central tension in mind, until after bishop e6, a critical move asking white to resolve the central situation. The d pawn is captured. The bishop recaptures, leaving white with an isolated d pawn. The source of the greatest debate in chess middle game theory. The question is it a weakness or is it a strength? The closest answer is that it is a weakness, if and only if black can fix it to the square, trade pieces, and then focus on capturing the endgame. But it can be a strength for white if, after captures, he can find a way to push it and open up a position for his very active bishops and knights to maneuver and create problems for black. Those are the two plans of battle.
Guard the gate and check every house. There's a boat for that disgrace.
It's extra important in this line because it stakes claim on the square in front of the target pawn, making sure it doesn't move, but also opening the path for the bishop to be developed. Both sides develop their pieces until after A3. White was a decent player as well, so he gives it a good balance. That means, he uses a combination of the rook and bishop to remove the queen from the rank of his pawn to d5. But his move is so unfair. It's too effective versus four defenders. White was risky giving away the pawn. He plays for d2, changing his rooks and pretending to change his rooks to assist us to the center of the board. But again, and the next few moves are a mixture of black and also fighting for control of the until after winning the game, black has created a special boost formation of the Valentine's gun, aimed at the d4 target. The knight is also aimed at the target, so it's well protected versus four defenders. White is holding on to his pawn marvelously. His problem, however, is that he cannot make any progress. He is stuck defending this weakness and will never hope for a win, unless black makes a mistake. So in the next few moves, white sets a nasty trap, queen e2, and now this pawn has three defenders, versus black's four.
Son, I hear you loud and clear!
Pause the video and try to
How
find
can
the
I not
CPU
know
level
your
of the final
sufferings?
match. Chess is a Buddhist rule. You can play the opening like a book. Queen e5 step. Your opponent moves the whole piece up from the whole room. Brutal. It's the equivalent of being a or life. Honest. Got here. Forget it. You're on your deathbed. You couldn't help but look after you. And that's enough to send you straight to hell. Is that a good example? I don't know. But black is and now because they make the one is forced to bring back his queen to protect the home. This is a nightmare position for something you can only attain after 10,000 plus hours of pure chess focus. Zero entertainment, zero females, or in your case, zero men. Because take this position for example. The only way to win is for black to move this rook, but do so without losing this pawn. Impossible, right? Watch this. F4 sacrifices the first pawn, and then G3 sacrifices yet another pawn. The intention is to just go G2 and G1 queen, but after takes and rook H1, guess what? This pawn is untouchable, because check, and the rook is gone. White resigns, a brilliant end to a very informative chess video. But if you think you've mastered pawn structures, think again. In our next video, we'll explore the Botvinnik triangle, a deadly pawn structure that can turn your games upside down. Leave a like, and let's meet on the other side.
You come at a good moment. What am I for?
Hey everyone, right next to the final here with another weekly class. This class is Advanced Tactics Retired. I'm not sure that's even possible. Or who knows? I'd like to thank our sponsor, Tactic Wheeler. We've sponsored many of the lectures in the last more than half. If you'd like to sponsor a lecture, some of these tactics are real games, but they're actual games. Some of them are ultimate crap. And some of them are endgames. And some of them are you have to okay,
Okay.